This is the voice out of Africa for the liberation of my people. Maponga Yahshua, Mara, Chigarambok, Kugaramashambahuda. Down south, in the land of rain top, bees and endangered species, melanin, blackness, up, the black man. If any tata on Pan-African DTV, Afro TV.
So yes, welcome to our every Sunday, the Pan-African Church with the Gospel according to Yahshua Maponga III. We want to welcome you to this Sunday service, and I'm so happy that you're all connected here. I just want to take a little bit of minute to apologize for our lateness because King Maponga was in South Africa. All of you saw him on this massive concert that he was out there the whole night, and he just landed 5 minutes ago and rushed into the studio for us to catch up with you. But I thank you all for connecting. This special sermon is going to take us to Genesis chapter 1, verse 2. But before we go into the scriptures into the gospel according to Yahshua Maponga, I will just give him the space to do the rituals before we begin. And I will do the summary, a very short summary of chapter 1 of last Sunday's sermon for those of you who missed it. And then we get into the sermon for today. So over to you, my king.
Greetings, Ase, Shukran, Jambo, to all of us who are here, to the grand raising of the African nation, to the nation of Al-Kebalan. We solicit for grace for tonight, for understanding, solicit for light. We do our service in the armpit of liberation. May peace and harmony be found amongst us all as an African nation. May our children grow to love us and our relationships find the harmony that they need. May our leaders find it in their hearts to be merciful and to be intelligent while they work. And may the rains fall gently on the land during this beautiful time of planting, that our seeds will find enough water and the winds will be gentle on us, that the sun will be gentle on our skins as we work together and we work in harmony. Let the continent find another space of peace. And to that I say, Shukran, Shalom, Asante, Ase.
Ashe, Bayete. So I would not go into reading the whole of last week's sermon. I just want to say for those of you who did not attend the first service, we talked about, or the gospel talked about, how the spiritual beings that we as Africans are, or humans are, became flesh. And so he gave us the role of the male and the female and the different responsibilities that they came purposefully or came from the creator in that format. So In the gospel, we describe the male as the Bible or the seed of the ancestors. So, like the men are the ones that carry the seed of the ancestors. And the female, which is the other version of the male, is actually the women that are the gate openers in whose womb the seeds are planted. And so we begin to reproduce the earth. So that's just a summary. He also went, according to the gospel, to say we have to respect the carrier of the ancestors, which is the woman. And it takes a longer period of 9 months for her to nurture that life to bring it to earth. And all this harmony brings us as one presence, nobody, more than the other. And he went also in the Gospel of Genesis 1 1, according to the Gospel according to Maponga, talked of how our relationships with our children should be, how we have to respect the children, exactly because they are a private institution on their own. We don't own their lives. We're just there to guard them until they begin to produce their own seed that they bring to the universe. I think just in a short the summary, like we said, it is in the writing. We will be sharing the scriptures as time goes on. But remember, this is just the original scripts that we're giving you until the productions would finish. So today we're going to continue the sermon on Genesis 1 verses 2, and I just give a summary, and the king would go to explain more about that. And in this chapter we are going to look at now. In chapter 1 we met, the male came with the gene of the ancestors and implanted into the female, and now the reproduction process started. But in this chapter we're going to look at the formless earth now. So what does the earth looks like? How was it like? It was all full of darkness. And so are we ready now to start to form that earth according to us? We're coming down as nothing. Remember, this is just the Genesis. If you're here, you are in that sector. You have to be in the spirit to understand the word of the spirit. We were spiritual beings, now in a body form, in a physical form. Now we met the earth was formless. And this is what chapter Genesis 1 verse 2 is going to tell us. Now we meet an empty space that is full of darkness. Now, what does darkness mean to you and me? And how do we start to create from zero? Are we now ready as children of Al-Kebulan to start to say, now we are at that space of zero, at that darkness? What does it mean for your private life and my private life? I hope I could be able to summarize it like you sent to me, my king, but over to you to, if you want us to read the scriptures or you go over it.
All right. Thank you, and welcome one and welcome all to another beautiful, beautiful session that we have. I would maybe would like to start off by explaining the what I might want to call Genesis 1 verse 0. Genesis 1 verse 0. Genesis 1 verse 0 is a concept I came up with some 15 years ago. And the concept bases itself on the idea of creation, time, space, and matter, and that the one who is creating things to be there must be there before the creation begins. And the one who says, let there be, must be before he can say, let there be. There is a presence of being prior to be. Having said that, therefore, it's not just the presence of person, but it's also the presence of intelligence, the presence of knowledge, the presence of planning, so that by the time creation begins, when emptiness finds you with emptiness, then there's nothing that you can bring out of nothing. But the one who is going to make things happen needs to have a plan, needs to have an idea, needs to have a template, needs to have some form of strategy as to what is it that you want to create. How are you going to create it? What format are you going to use to create it? What resources do you need to create it? Who will manage what you are creating? What is the ecological balance of the things that you are creating? And how do they relate to each other? Ultimately, also, how do they reproduce themselves after you have created? Because you don't just create and keep on creating. You create, and out of what you have made, there must be perpetuity, continuity, posterity of what you have created. So this is the kind of mindset that you want to understand, that before you can begin to cause things to happen, before you can say, I want to build a home, I want to build a family, I want to start up a career, I want to start a business, I want to start something. It's not just about starting things. It's you, the creator, who is standing in darkness, the darkness of your mind, in the silence of your brain, and you're looking into this empty space. This is exciting for me because I went back to rebuild my grandfather's homestead, and I get there and it's all bush. You know, people have grown and they've left. Then there's just nothing left except trees and bushes. And I'm looking at this place and I begin to say, what am I going to do to create this place up? Okay, I'm going to put the toilets over there. I'm going to put the kitchen here, is the kitchen where I was born. I'm going to put the kitchen here. And the 2 mango trees, which were standing in front of the kitchen where I was born. I was so excited. They're still there in the exact place where they used to be. Oh, so the kitchen was here. The other house was here. So, and all this thing is happening in my mind. And nothing is there. Everything is here in my mind. So that by the time I start investing money, looking for bricks, organizing the stonework, doing the layouts of how it's going to, where do I want my sunrise to be? Do I want to turn my back on the sun? Do I want my room to be looking into the sun? Where when the sunset sets, where will the shadows be? And how do I begin to plan all that? So when you pick the book of Genesis and we hear that God stood in the dark, what does that mean, therefore? It means that we need to start learning how to work with darkness, because darkness gives birth to light. What we see in the light was conceived in the dark. Therefore, darkness is the mother of light. And those who cannot deal with darkness cannot deal with light, because darkness is incubation. Darkness is where seeds belong. Darkness is where the soil covers the seed. And for some days or for some weeks, if there are bamboo trees, even for a year or 2 years, this is sitting in the dark where no one can see it, where nature and the soil is speaking to this seed that is sitting in the dark. In cases of pregnancy, this is when the child is covered away from everybody else and sits in the dark for that period of 9 months. And in this period, it's not that there is inactivity. There is little things that you can see on the outside in terms of the belly and the womb of the mom getting swollen and etc. But there's a lot of things that are happening in the dark. The wiring of the brain, the wiring of the veins, the muscles, the forming of the body itself. The eyes are coming into place. The nose and the ears are coming into place. The head is getting there. Substances and juices are being transmitted from mother to child. And the formation of the child does not happen in the light. It happens in the dark. And therefore, when you begin to understand the concept of creation, that any idea that you have, any business that you have, any family that you have, any government that you have, if that government has not dealt with darkness, it is not ready to deal with light. Because there is some stuff that must happen in the dark. And if the darkness does not do it well, it will come out into the light deformed. It will come out into the light unplanned. It will come out into the light in disorder. Therefore, darkness is sacred because darkness is the mother of light. That which we conceive in our darkness will manifest in our voices and manifest in our creation. What am I talking about? Stay in the dark. Take that good idea. Sit with it in the dark. Plan with it. Don't share a good idea too early. It will die. Don't expose your seeds to the light before they have been exposed to the darkness. Because it is in the darkness that it will mature. And once you bury a seed underground, you don't go there every 2 days and you open up again. You want to see what's happening. Then you close it up again. You come back 3 days later, you open it up. Then germination will never take place. Therefore, moments of darkness are sacred moments where an idea, a child, a seed needs enough light away from everybody else. By yourself, sit with it. Sit on it like a chicken sitting on its eggs. Sit on that idea. Keep it warm under your wings. Do not share your visions and dreams with people who don't have your vision and your dreams. They will kill your dreams. It's important to understand the power of privacy. Keep your ideas to yourself until they are ready to be delivered. Now follow me very carefully. This is maybe why sometimes we teach that let us close our eyes and let us pray. Why do we close our eyes? Because once we close our eyes, we enter into a space of unlimitedness. We enter into the space of darkness. We enter into that space where our eyes are no longer material, but we can now see what we want to see with our minds. Therefore, our minds become the center of darkness, where ideas, prayers, supplications, intentions, emotions are buried in the darkness of our minds. We can only know what is happening in the minds when the doors of our darknesses are opened. Then we can tell what has been happening inside the brains. So Genesis 1 introduces us to how the Creator dealt with darkness. Don't get stuck there. The next most important step is, how do you deal with darkness? How do you deal with difficult moments? How do you deal with complicated environment? Do you open up your mouth and start shouting about it? You run around telling everybody what has happened here and then you're asking everybody, what must I do? What must I do? What must I do? And once you start exposing yourself to other people's advices, what Tom thinks, what Jack thinks, what so and so thinks, what everybody thinks, and they're keeping on exposing that seed of your mind and intention, by the time you finish up, you might end up implementing a decision that is not your decision at all, but other people's decisions. How do you deal with darkness? It's only now that we can maybe share a passage that says troubles and sorrow would linger for a while, but joy comes in the morning. I can share another passage with you again that says, do not be afraid of the night, because night after night whispers wisdom to the following day. In other words, darkness, the night informs the day. The night whispers what will happen in the following morning. That's why in my tribe, when we meet up in the morning, we say mangwanani. Can you remember that? Mangwanani. Mangwa. Mangwanani. That means good morning. Mangwa are words. Anani. Who has the words? Nani. The spirit of the night that whispers wisdom. Has she whispered something to you in the midst of the night? So we gather around as a family and you say, Mangwanani, Mangwanani. The other one responds, Zehope, Zehope. Meaning to say, from the land of the dreams, from the land of visions, from the land of the spirit. Then we look around and say, Mangwanani, Mangwanani, Mangwanani. Who has the word? Who has the instruction? Who had the voice in the night, in their dreams and in their visions? Only after collecting the dreams and the visions and the whispers of the night that happened in a family can we be able to get the software of what the day will look like. So what did you dream? I dreamt about a snake. And you? I dreamt you had gone hunting. And you? No, I dreamt I was under the water. And you? I dreamt. And when you put all those dreams together of a family that woke up together, those that are wise in the family, like our old people, can begin to tell that there is an information that needs to be sent through. Maybe one of us will get sick. Maybe a visitor is coming. Maybe the rains will delay this year. There's a sickness that's lingering around the yard. No, there's a problem that could be coming. The rains may be delayed. There is impending danger for the family. And so and so has not been treated well. There is no way in any family when we sit around together with good diet and good behavior and good relationships that you will not be able to find information every morning from the whispers of the night. Mangwa Anani, who has the words from darkness, who is now coming into the light. So when we see the light, we are not ready for the light unless we have spoken to darkness. If you cannot hear me there, you will not hear me again in a long time. You cannot confront the day if you have not whispered in the night and you have opened up your ears to hear the instructions of what is it that you must do at the break and at the beginning of another day. That's why it is important to sleep. Sleep early. Eat light in the morning, eat like a king. In the afternoon, eat like a queen. In the evening, eat like a servant. Eat a little bit so that you keep your first brain, which is your stomach, empty as much as possible from food. Because when there is too much food in your stomach, lots of the blood and etc. flows to the stomach and little happens upstairs. But when your stomach is empty, your body is able to get activated. This goes on to what is it that you inform your mind? What did you spend the day feeding into your mind? What is it that is worrying you? So that by the time you put your head on the pillow, you can be able to move into the space of darkness. Hear me very well. Space of darkness is not limited with time. Because once you close your eyes, it's limitless spaces of dreams and visions and thoughts. Therefore, when you are in the land of the dreams, you can visit the past. You didn't hear that part there. You can visit the present. You can visit the future. Oh, let's even make it nicer. You can even visit back your mother's womb and listen to the conversations that happened in the corridors of your ancestors. Because your DNA is wired with information from the past, the stresses of the past, the wars of the past, the angers of the past, the joys of the past, the anxieties of the past, the conquests of the past, the diseases of the past, the skills of the past. It's all inside you. You are a full package of what history had in itself, put into that 1 trillion terabyte of data. Only in the position of sleep can you escape from this physical body into a space of unlimited knowledge and information. So don't worry. Some of the dreams you might understand, some of the dreams you may not understand, but remember you are in the space of darkness where you are no longer seeing yourself, but you are seeing your history replaying itself. You are seeing your present replaying itself. You are seeing your future unfolding itself. Therefore, the mind becomes a receptive center that can deal with darkness. And the only time darkness is activated is when your eyes are closed. When your eyes are closed. And then inside your head, there is a silver screen of a free movie where you can watch the information that you need to access so that you can run the day. Therefore, Genesis 1 verse 2, for me, when it says, and the world was formless and void, that is a space of emptiness, a space of nothingness. And even if it is there, it is not shaped, it is not organized, it is scattered. And when you enter this space of nothingness in your mind, then you begin to plan and think and prepare things that you need to manifest in the world of light. How do we deal with darkness? How do we deal with problems, with chaos? How do we convert our chaos into cosmos? How do you convert disorder into order? How do you convert formlessness into form? You are the creator, and as such, you must be constantly be in the business of creating that which is not to become, that which is unseen to be seen, that which has not yet manifested needs to manifest. And darkness, it is the workstation of the spiritual world. Darkness is the workstation of the spiritual world, where things that are not yet seen and manifested can manifest. Someone closed their eyes. When they opened their eyes, they said Colgate. Someone closed their eyes. When they opened their eyes, they said Apple, computers. Someone closed their eyes. When they opened them, BMW, Mercedes-Benz, Samsung, Huawei, Gucci, Givenchy, Maserati, Bugatti. Close their eyes, and when they opened them, boom, they created new things. You, every time you go to bed, when you wake up, hey, a snake almost ate me up. Your fears will contaminate your dreams. Start using your darkness to create your light. Use your darkness to see your light. Use your darkness to plan for your light. Enter your darkness. Close your eyes. Even if it is not yet there, start saying, let there be, let there be, let there be. For the voice that speaks in the midst of darkness commands the things that are in the spaces of light that they must manifest. As such, it is important that we all visit our dark spots. We all visit our dark corners. And when we enter these dark spaces, we don't enter them with fear, but we enter with confidence. For it is from these spaces of darkness that we can command issues of light. Issues of light. So therefore, work with darkness. It gives birth to light. And I think with that introduction, I'll hand over to my Honorable Dr. Susan Tata to read the chapter for us, and then we can do a little bit of reflection on that. But I think on the introduction part, learn to convert your chaos into cosmos. Learn to maximize on your darkness. Increase more planning, strategic planning. Think through your dark spaces, for darkness is the mother of light. And between me and you, darkness is always there. Therefore, what is darkness? Darkness is the absence of light. Because when you switch on your lights at night, no one has ever seen where darkness runs away to. And immediately you switch off the light, darkness occupies everything. When the sun comes up, darkness just disappears. When the sun goes down, darkness always comes. Therefore, darkness is always there. It's always there. It's only when light appears that darkness steps aside and gives light an opportunity to shine. But immediately light goes off, darkness occupies everything. So therefore, we all have enough darkness around us, but can you be the light in your spaces of darkness? Switch on your lights and let darkness go where it belongs. Let that which is hiding in the dark manifest when light appears.
Wonderful. Amen. I will just go on and yes, read the Genesis 1, chapter 2. It's not lengthy, it's very short, and it's very understandable. And I want to thank and greet all of you, the members that are watching from home and abroad. You're so many here watching. And please give me a minute and we'll be back. And
This is the voice out of Africa for the liberation of my people. Maponga Yahshua, Mara, Chigarambok, Kugaramashambahuda. Down south, in the land of Wanyamtapa. These and endangered species. Melanin. Blackness, up, the black man, if any tata.
so we're back live, and Genesis 2, the gospel according to Yahshua Maponga, Genesis 1 verse 2. Now this earth has become formless and empty. Gross darkness is over the minds of many and surface of the deep. There is hope for there is the hope that the spirit of Alkebulan is hovering over the waters. Now you, Alkebulan, are you prepared to start walking with the formless and empty space? Can we start by simply saying today, I know nothing? Remember, on the emptiness can be filled. You can't teach a fool anything. And he puts the fool, F-O-O-L, in bracket F-U-L-L. Which part of your life is formless? Identify the empty and the dark part of your family life and history. What layers are buried in the darkness over the surface of your deep? This could be negative as bad emotions and dark family and personal secret. But we could be positive if it is untapped potentials and the mysteries of unrevealed creation, all hidden in the dark. Are you afraid of dark? What is it in the dark which scares you? Is darkness good or bad? Can you walk with darkness? Yes, you may not in the darkness, but surely you can walk with darkness. Darkness represents incubation, pregnancies, fruitfulness, moments of private growth, invisible realities, all veiled in darkness. Seeds go into the dark to germinate, and it comes out to bring stars. And that's the reason, like you said, stars only come out at night. The Spirit hovers over the primordial waters before birth, creation, and all, and our every heavens and atmosphere and land is surrounded by water. This is the first matriarch water through whose passage we all have become. And you said it, I think this is in in your language, you say Miliambo, Metsi, Amanzi, or Wanle. Water is within us at more than 70% and 70% without. The human body functions with fluid at the same percentage. As such, it breaks down all food into fluid. The rest of the excess 30% is waste. I think we all know this. even in the biology, in the literacy of the common knowledge of biology. The presence of the spirit is the picture of a hen sitting on the egg waiting for them to hatch. It is the presence of the spirit which birth creation. Your spirit must hover above good ideas and creations, formless and veiled at times, but hover above, sit on it until it manifests. It may cause you to sit on gross darkness, but let there be a desire to deepen. When your eyes can't see, when you are going out or letting in the spirit of faith, hope, patience, and knowledge that keeps you hovering above that potential. Deep call to deep. You put it in bracket. Visit those places on your heart, mind, and soul. Those rare gems and treasures unknown and untold. You are a mystery when in the dark. Close your eyes and start to measure your capacity. You are deep and with untapped potentials and in parallel possibility. You have heard them say darkness is evil. I say unto you today, darkness gives birth to light. For when your eyes cannot see, your patience and knowledge of result will keep you in focus. Now your earth and life may be formless and empty, with great darkness over the potentials of hidden ideas. From the surface of the deep, let the spirit of the creator, let your light hover and rest over the waters. This is the gospel according to Yahshua Marara Maponga.
I want us to pick up just maybe one or two items that I found to be exciting on this reading. The first one that says, and the spirit hovers above the waters. The spirit that lives above the waters. And this is quite exciting because everything that will be created is sitting underneath those waters. Everything. Darkness and water covers everything that we can't see. Creation therefore becomes a business of unpacking what is underneath the waters, what is hiding in the dark. And the voice becomes the instruction that commands the invisible to become visible. So when I look at you as an African, as a person, everything that you need is buried inside you. Everything that you need is inside you. There's no one who was born in this world who had anything. We came here with nothing. Others came here with nothing. They will walk away having accomplished nothing. But of course, at death, you go away with nothing again. But everything that you accumulate on earth has to do with how do you separate your darkness and bring forth creation out of the waters of your own creation. Therefore, when we talk about potential, we are not scared to talk about gold, iron, and minerals, because the very material that you are made out of the same material that you are looking for. I wonder whether that makes sense.
Absolutely.
You are attracted to that which you are made out of. You did not fall from the heavens. You come from the earth. You come from the dust. You come from the soil. You come from this darkness. You come from this soil, and everything that you're going to be looking for, whether you want furniture, you want gold, you want silver, you want brass, you want that, you want that. You're not looking for something that you are not made out of. You are made out of the very material that you're going to spend the rest of your life gathering to yourself. So you are what you are looking for, if that makes sense. You are made out of the same texture, the same soil that is underneath your feet. That's what you are made out of. But the question is, what kind of spirit hovers above your ideas? And what is it that will be called into light? Some out of that darkness, they call anger into light. Some call envy into light. Some call greed into light. Some call murder into light. When the person is sitting alone and they are thinking, and you wonder, what are they thinking? They are thinking how to destroy the next person, how to rob the next person, instead of thinking how to destroy the next person, can you start thinking how to dig your own wells, how to dig your own fields, how to mine your own mind, how to manufacture things out of your own mind? That's why I love children. Children, when they are young, they spend all their time trying to make things. It is us parents who teach children to become stupid. Because don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't touch that, don't. And then a child is pushed into a corner where they cannot express themselves. But you look at children, no one has taught them, but immediately they start crawling, they start walking around with no instruction, they start picking up things, they start putting things together, they start assembling stuff, because the creativity of making things happen and that innocence can only be manifesting itself in artists. And I'm sorry to say this, only artists have that purity, because we don't learn music, we play music. And because we play, we retain the infancy, the innocence, the fragility, the no limitation sort of thing, where you're just placed in an environment and you play. Hence, once you start, you say, I want to learn an instrument, you have lost it already. Don't learn it. If you put a child right now, 4, 3 years old, on a piano, they know nothing about the piano. They just play. It might sound horrible to you because you like other types of music and you're grown up and you are this and this. I like classic, I like rumba, I like kwasa kwasa, I like reggae. But to a child who knows no reggae, who knows no jazz, who knows nothing, if you put them on a piano, they will just play their own classic song to what they want to do with the instrument, and the instrument obeys what they want to create out of it. So therefore, this playfulness is what we might come to call innovation, is what we might call creativity. But all this creation needs to come out of the innocence. Hence, there's another statement that I mentioned in the writing there. Just close your eyes and say, I know nothing. I know nothing. Because once you are full, F-U-L-L, and once you become a fool, F-O-O-L, you can't be taught anything. Only those who are empty can be filled. Only those who have an attitude of learning can learn something. Even now, while we are talking, some people find this information offensive. Some people find information annoying. And guess what annoys them? It's not me who annoys them. It is the information that they have received prior to my arrival, which annoys them, because they've already filled up their buckets of understanding with other types of information. And when you come around and say, empty that bucket, it is full of dirty old water. Let us put some fresh water into that. And the person feels, no, I want to drink that water dirty as it is. None of your business. So if you are not prepared to empty yourself from what you have come to understand and know, you can never get new information. So we say fools can't learn anything because they know everything. You can't advise them on anything because they've already closed the doors of learning. So empty yourself from what you know. Re-engineer yourself. And I've passed this comment once. I'll pass it again on this platform. I have decided that I will become the biggest institution for my own studies. I have decided to make myself the object of my study. So when I was learning to play and I was playing music instruments, excuse me, I came up with one goal. And the goal was that every year I would speak and whisper to the universe, for this year, can I learn something new about myself? So I became a writer. The other year, can I learn something new about myself? I became a painter. The other year, can I learn something new about myself? I became a musician. Can I learn something new about myself? I played a harmonica. I played the trumpet. I played the kora. I played the bandura. I played the saxophone. I played drums. And every year, it just looks like immediately you say, I don't know it. I want to learn it. I want to master it. I'm empty of nothing, but I'm walking into a space where can I start learning something new? Immediately your attitude of learning changes. You may find that there is enough skills, talents, wealth of good content, good ideas, good products that have not yet been discovered, which are buried inside you. And only when you decide to bring those things out of the darkness of your spirit into the light so that they can manifest, you may just think that you have reached your climax, you have reached your zenith, you have reached your best. But I have good news for you tonight. You have not yet reached your best until you thoroughly exhaust every corner of darkness that is inside you. There is something hiding inside you that you have not yet discovered. You didn't hear me well. There is something inside you that you don't know about yourself. Some people had to go through divorce to discover who they were because they already were defining themselves. I'm Mrs. So-and-so, I'm Mrs. So-and-so. Until one morning, the man walks up and says, hey, I don't want with my surname. And then, boom, you've been hit by a train. Look to the left and to the right and say, so who is me? Now this definition is gone. Then you start re-engineering yourself. And you wake up in the one morning and discover, I wasted time doing this. I should have done that. I should have done that. I'd forgotten this. I'd forgotten that your hobbies and other things had almost disappeared in the midst of your new definition of what status you'd given yourself. So emptying yourself allows you to re-engineer yourself. Some people had to be fired from work to start up companies right now that are multi-billion companies, spinning money. And when they were employed and they were controlled, they thought they were doing well. They were CEOs, they were CFOs, they were what, until the gate closed on them. And then they sat back. And when they came out, having looked into their darkness, they discovered that there is something that is inside them that they had not utilized and maximized on. Look at them right now, the Dangotes of this world. Look at them right now, the Bill Gates of this world, who some of them did not even finish college. Some of them did not, but they looked inside themselves, found solutions. Here they are today. We look at them with envy and we admire what they're doing. But between me and you, there is nothing that is in them that is not in you. But I have good news for you. What is in you is not in them. You are as different to them as they are to you. Therefore, look inside your darkness. Look inside your heart. Look inside your spirit. Now, this brings me to the important point we mentioned last week. Study your ancestors. Study your ancestors. Read the graves of your ancestors. Know your ancestors, your maternal ancestors. Know your paternal ancestors, because all of them have skills, have talents, have knowledge, wisdom, things that they were able to do. And all this data has been mutated, packaged, transmitted into the waters of your mother. Here you are today. You are not your own. You are a mobile encyclopedia of a barrage, a tapestry of conquest, knowledge, and skills of the past, which you have not yet even started to temper on. The day I die, no grass will grow on my grave, because I will exhaust everything that is in me. There will be no manure on top of that soil for all the skills I will have emptied as much as I can. We all need to enter into the darkness of our disappointments and come out of those corners with new technologies, new innovations, new ideas, new paradigms, new education systems, new computers, new products. There is no limit to what we can accomplish as long as we make ourselves the centers of study. Stop studying William Shakespeare. Stop studying Napoleon. Stop studying the Queen of London. Stop studying. Stop studying. Start reading yourself. Start learning yourself. Start knowing what are you made out of, what quality of software is in you, and let that software start operating your body, which is your hardware. Therefore, software controls hardware.
I think we have enough food, and and this food is not just for those that don't have teeth. And like we are saying, most of us, I know it's coming from a space of where it's hard. I know I got feedbacks from a last session that they're like, oh, it's too hard. The knowledge that you're pouring out is difficult to understand. And like we could have just simplified it, and like it was like a match between the Bible and stuff like that. Then I think everything that comes from the Spirit gives light, like you said, from darkness was born into light. I think if we come with emptiness, we're just going to understand. I would like to pick some questions in the chat, if you would permit me. And we'll just, if you have questions, so just very short questions, we would be able to answer them. But I think I already saw some here. How does one get the knowledge of self? Okay, I think I had something here. If not, if we don't have any questions, I think if questions will come in, you can drop it in the chat or on our WhatsApp, and we'll bring it on next Sunday sermon. Thank you so very much, King Maponga. The facts are clear. We are in the Pan-African Church on the Gospel according to Yahshua Maponga. Please learn as much as we can. It's like saying we're starting from the new again. We know that everything, miseducation, we've been raised with different formats. It is not wrong that we have known something, but what is more beautiful in the space is that it is also possible to learn something new. And from what I gather from this sermon of today, or from this session of today, is if I keep always believing and holding to my past, to what I know, and so I don't give room for new wisdom, for rebirth, And that's why we see like the churches, they always talk about being born again, being reborn or rebirth into a new, into a beginning. We have never seen anyone in this session, in this mindset that would go back again into the womb of the mother to be born again. But we do accept that we are renewing and that we are rebirthing. It's the same process. We want to be born again as Africans into a knowledge of self, into knowing who we are, because we never had that opportunity to. We were raised, we were taught, we were educated to understand otherwise. Now we have that knowledge, which is also very good. But what if we try something new? Just try something new. We never will lose anything. So, knowledge of that self. I want to appreciate all of you who are watching and all of you that have watched. I hope that we've learned something. I hope that we are getting there. On this second sermon, I see a lot of people. Even the first one, I want to thank all of you for your feedbacks. And even those that came up with the fact that it should be more simplified for people to understand, put it on a basic, simple knowledge. I think it's everything we do is out of love that we came to that. But like I said, if you look at even the normal Bible, it's just cannot. Things of the spirit, sometimes you have to be in the spirit to understand them. And even if they simplify it to the ABC, that's why you find a thing like the King James Version, they have different versions out of it. They bring even the more simplified, they bring even the more simplified. It's just like you write a literature book and then they simplify it into the different edition. Does that make people actually become different or change their lifestyle or gain the knowledge of themselves by just simplifying? They have taken the old language and broken it even to the most simplest. But this is rewriting something new out of us. We see ourselves in that space. We identify with the space and the land, our wealth, our need to it. You see yourself as African into it. If we don't begin by humbling ourselves, by emptying the trash to be filled with new energy, new water, new spirit, I just don't know what else we are actually looking for. But to all of us that are here, I think we are in the right space and everything is right and we're good to go. So, my king, I just want to thank you and I will need you to bless this as we depart to see ourselves again next week, Sunday.
We have grace abundant. We sleep for the night. We access spaces of darkness. Some of us are going through difficult times, but even at such moments, we have a desire to learn something, to create something new, to study more about ourselves. We don't forget the expanse of the continent and the amount of pain that we are going in. Maybe it's a blessing that we are called Dark Africa. The question is, how do we convert that darkness into creative opportunity to come up with something new? As Africa tonight lies in the spaces of darkness, the sun has set on us. May the spirit of the land visit us all. May the spirit of the omnipotent one hover above our many waters. Let there be an incubation of new ideas, new visions, new paradigms, new trajectories, new possibilities, new opportunities. And I also want to pray that all of us who are within the reach of my voice would close our eyes and find inside ourselves those places of opportunities and possibilities which have not yet been tapped into. And that when you come out of those corners of your darkness, let there be light. Let it manifest. I call a blessing upon the land, the spirit of the land and the omnipotent creator. As he created the heaven and earth, let it be that you also can begin your process of creating your heavens and creating your earth Let that be your mantra for this week. What will I create? And how do I dispel darkness to have moments of creation? May the grace of the land rest upon you all. Aseh. Aseh.
Ase, Bayete. Thank you so very much. We just watched the show.
This is the voice out of Africa for the liberation of my people. Maponga Yahshua, Mara, Chigarambok, Kugaramashambahuda. Down south, in the land of Mayamtapa, bees and endangered species, melanin, blackness, up, the black man, if any tata, on Pan-African DTV, Afro TV.
So thank you. I just want to give a few announcements just to round up, and I want to appreciate all of you. I saw the global family in the chat, all of you that attended today. I hope that we will share this sermon and this message to reach out. I actually cherish these moments where we just go into ourselves, don't talk about every other things, particularly in a day like this when we begin to start our week ahead of us. We've missed this kind of session of meditation, of just thinking and just listening and going through our spirituality. So tomorrow we are going to start our week again on Pan-African Daily, and we're going to have Queen Desta. Queen Desta is a Jamaican-born, relocated to the continent for more than 20 years and started a Rastafari movement, a very powerful one. And they will be celebrating their anniversary on the continent on the 25th of May. That's the Africa Day that we all know. So she's coming up live tomorrow to talk to us about her organization, about things that they've been doing. But before she even went into creating her organization, she's been serving on the board of DAF, that is the Diaspora Africa Forum, which was, I think, created by Dr. Erica Bennett, which we do know. And she served as a volunteer on that board, I think, for close to 20 years in other institutions. Queen Desta has been here with us 2 sessions, and she'll be coming back to give us a feedback on her projects and the way forward, on how the continent is actually moving forward. On this topic, Ethiopia, you definitely have seen, and we posted in our community chat and even on the Pan-African Daily TV Facebook pages about the peaceful agreement between Ethiopia and the Tigray. This is one of the historical events in the life history on the wars, on our tribal wars on the continent, that are solutions that are brought on the table by Africans themselves to their challenges. You all know how long this war has been taking place. We all know all the process that have been intervening, which have been flaming even this war in Ethiopia between the Ethiopian government and the Tigray, which are brothers, as we do know. And we know the process that have involved leaders on the continent, like His Excellency, the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo, who actually was leading and is leading this peace negotiation. So yes, it is possible that we can have our own solutions by ourselves. It is also possible that we can sit and negotiate and come to terms how we can work with one another. So we want to say congratulations actually to Ethiopia, and to our brothers and sisters in the Tigray, that this is the perfect thing to do. This is just the right thing to do. And we're calling on all the African nations that are really still in this conflict, that there's nothing that would succeed if we don't come to the table to negotiate our terms of operation and going forward with one another. So yes, she's also going to give us a kind of a briefing on that. That's a very good news that is coming on the continent. So we're going to be listening to that conversation tomorrow. So please do tune in. On Tuesday, we have a very special guest. I already we showed his previous show, that is in the person of Professor Dr. Al Wahab, who actually would be educating us on the consequences. No, he put it this way, like, now African leaders that are not ready to work are using the Ukraine and Russian war as an excuse and blaming all the high prices or the cost of the inflation or the recession, as we can say, on the continent or in their different countries, and they want to blame it on the Ukraine or Russian war. And so he will be educating us also, or having a conversation on this topic to question a lot of governments to say, whenever we're getting our food or our millet or our flour or our petrol or whatever from Russia, we have all our indigenous food. What just happened? How on earth could we be blaming and taking excuses for that? So I think he wants to look into the picture of this Ukraine Russian war, and who are the people that should be affected. And so African governments and leadership should stop using this as an excuse not to develop and to take responsibility on the leadership on the continent. So yes, Al Wahab would be with us on Tuesday. And on Wednesday, we're going to announce the guest, but I think we should also be getting our brother Go Black to Africa next week. Either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be confirming that. But for now, I think tomorrow is set, Tuesday is set. I want to wish you a very happy week ahead of us. And I wish all of you a happy time. And thank you for being here today. So we see us again tomorrow, same time. Bye-bye. Wonderful.
You are watching the Pan-African Daily TV with Dr. Susan Tata. The Africa we want. Unity, consciousness, our culture, our spirituality, our history. One Africa for Africans worldwide. Motherlands calling its diaspora home. Join my voice, join my team, join my campaign. Campaign 21 hashtag 1 million subscribers on the Pan-African Daily TV YouTube. Be a volunteer. Apply now. Be the new Africa.